Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Conscious Clicks. I'm your host, Chelsea Chang, and this is the podcast where we explore how social media influences the way we shop and how we can make more mindful choices in a digital world. In episode 1, we talked about how TikTok isn't just a space for entertainment anymore, it's actually become one of the biggest shopping platforms in the world. We looked at how easy it is to move from watching funny videos to filling up your cart, often without even realizing it. Today, I want to build on that conversation by zooming in on one of the things that was mentioned in the last episode, something that we've all experienced but don't have a name for, the scroll effect. The scroll effect is that moment when you're casually on TikTok or Instagram, just passing time, and suddenly you want something that you didn't even know existed 10 minutes ago. Maybe it's a viral tumbler, a skincare gadget, or a dupe of some expensive designer item. 10 minutes earlier, you were fine without it. You weren't thinking about it. You didn't need it. But after seeing it once, twice, 3 times, maybe in slightly different videos from slightly different people, it starts to feel less like a want and more like a need. That's the power of repetition. Psychologists call this the mere exposure effect, which is where the more often we see something, the more we start to like it and assign value to it. On social media, this plays out at lightning speed. The algorithm knows what grabs our attention, so it keeps feeding us content that looks similar. Before we know it, our brains are tricked into thinking, if everyone is using this, maybe I should too. Think about how many times you've seen the same product pop up across different creators. Maybe one video shows the product in a funny skit, another gives a quick unboxing, and the third does a day in the life with the item casually in the background. Each appearance chips away at your resistance until buying it feels almost inevitable. The scroll effect also thrives on urgency and FOMO, the fear of missing out. A lot of these viral products are framed as limited drops, exclusive colors, or things that are constantly sold out. Seeing other people get them creates this subtle pressure: if I don't buy this now, I'll miss my chance. That urgency is what drives people to stay up late waiting for restocks or even pay resellers double the price. And it's not just about buying things. The scroll effect changes how we think about ourselves and our lifestyles. Products aren't just products anymore, they're signals. A water bottle becomes a symbol of wellness and aesthetic. A skincare tool isn't just about clear skin, it's about being part of a trend. Even an app or filter isn't just for function, it's about not falling behind in the digital culture. So whether we realize it or not, the scroll effect is shaping our shopping decisions every single day. It turns casual browsing into consumer behavior, and in the process, it blurs the line between what we truly need and what we're being nudged into wanting. So why does the scroll effect have so much power over us? I think we did a brief overview of the algorithm in the last episode, but let's dive in deeper here. Social media platforms are literally built to keep us scrolling. They study our behavior, what we watch, what we like, what we save, and use that data to serve us more of the same. Think of it this way. Every time you pause on a video, the app takes it as a signal. If you watch a skincare haul all the way through, suddenly your feed starts filling up with more skincare content. If you click on one product link, you'll notice more shopping videos popping up. It feels random, but it's actually very calculated. And then there's social proof. Humans are wired to follow the crowd. It's a survival instinct. If we see one person raving about a product, that's interesting. But if we see 20 people all saying the same thing, our brain says, okay, this must be worth it. Even if deep down we know it's just marketing or repetition, the effect is powerful. That's why so many viral products, from the Stanley Cup to heatless curlers, completely sell out. The scroll effect doesn't just plant the seed of desire, it waters it every time we see that product again and again until it feels like the logical next step to click buy. But the scroll effect isn't only about algorithms, it's also about our emotions. Think about the times you scroll. Maybe it's late at night when you're winding down. Maybe it's in between classes or while you're commuting. You're relaxed, entertained, maybe even a little bored. That's the perfect emotional state for impulse buying. You're not entering the app with a shopping list. You're not budgeting, you're just flowing. And that makes you more suggestible. What's more, most of these purchases aren't just about the item itself. They're about the story attached to the item. That viral skincare gadget is not a tool, it's the promise of glowing skin or the confidence boost you've been chasing. That trendy tumbler is not just a cup, it's about belonging, about being part of a community of people who are all drinking from the same bottle. The scroll effect connects shopping with identity. It tells us if you buy this, you'll look like that person, you'll live that lifestyle, you'll feel better about yourself. And the truth is, sometimes the item delivers, but often the desire fades as quickly as it arrived. To make this more concrete, let's think about a few examples that really show how powerful the scroll effect can be. The Stanley tumbler is a perfect case study. For decades, Stanley was mostly known as a rugged camping brand. Their products were practical, built to last, and marketed towards hikers or outdoorsy people, nothing flashy. But when a group of lifestyle influencers started posting videos with pastel-colored Stanley tumblers on TikTok, everything changed. Suddenly, it wasn't just a water bottle. It became a status symbol, a lifestyle statement. Entire communities on TikTok were showing off their collections, styling their tumblers with outfits, or decorating them with personalized straws and stickers. The result? People were waiting in line at Target, camping out for new color drops, and reselling tumblers online for double or triple the price. That's the scroll effect at its peak. A product that had always existed suddenly transformed into a cultural obsession, not because of ads on TV, but because of repeated appearances on our feeds. And this doesn't just happen with drinkware. Skincare is another category where the scroll effect thrives. Think about pimple patches, LED face masks, or even pimple serums. The first time you see one of these products, you might think, cool, that's interesting. But then you scroll, and another creator is swearing by the exact same item. Then a third person shows a before and after video that looks too good to be true. Before you know it, the product isn't just something you might want, it feels essential. According to research published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology, repeated exposure to the same product dramatically increases what's called perceived necessity. In other words, the more often we see something, the more our brain convinces us that we actually need it, even if we didn't think about it all before. And it's not just physical products. The scroll effect applies to digital items too. Think about apps, editing filters, or subscription-based services. For example, when a certain video editing app goes viral because of the big creators are using it, suddenly you feel like your content won't measure up without it. Or when a filter becomes popular, you start noticing your videos look outdated if you're not using it too. According to a 2023 survey from Statista, over 40% of Gen Z reported downloading an app after seeing it used by influencers, which shows just how much digital consumption is shaped by trends rather than actual needs. What's fascinating is that the scroll effect works across all categories: beauty, fashion, food, tech, and even niche hobbies. Crocs, for example, had a huge comeback through TikTok, especially when influencers styled them in unexpected trendy ways using those gibbets. A shoe that was once seen as ugly but practical turned into a must-have item for Gen Z. Or consider food trends, whipped coffee during the pandemic, or the viral pink sauce. None of these would have had the same cultural reach without social media constantly pushing them onto our feeds. According to the New York Times, searches for whipped coffee on Google spiked by over 1,800% during March 2020, right after it blew up on TikTok. The scroll effect isn't just about buying things we don't need. It's about how quickly our perception of what's normal or necessary can shift when it's reinforced over and over again online. It makes us believe that wanting something is the same as needing it, and that's exactly why it's so powerful. So, if the scroll effect is this powerful, how do we navigate it? How do we keep social media fun and inspiring without letting it completely control our wallets? Here are a few strategies. 1. Pause before purchasing. If you see something you want, don't buy it immediately. Screenshot it, save it, or even write it down. Then wait 24 hours. If you still want it tomorrow, that's a better sign that it's worth buying. 2. Ask why you want it. Is it because you really need it, or is it because you've seen it 5 times in the last hour? Sometimes just naming the scroll effect out loud is enough to break its spell. 3. Curate your feed. Remember, you have more power over the algorithm than you think. The more you interact with shopping hauls, the more of them you'll see. But if you encourage But if you engage with creators who inspire you in other ways, whether it's education, art, or humor, your feed will adjust. 4. Track your impulse buys. This one can be eye-opening. Keep a simple list of everything you buy because of social media. After a month, look back and ask, which of these things actually added value to my life? Which were just short-lived thrills? That reflection can help you shop more intentionally in the future. Being conscious doesn't mean never buying anything fun or trendy. It just means making sure your choices reflect your values, not just the algorithm's suggestions. Alright, that's all for today's episode of Conscious Clicks. We unpacked the scroll effect, how it works, why it's so powerful, and what we can do to shop more mindfully while still enjoying our time online. In our next episode, I'll be sitting down with a guest who runs a local furniture shop in Manila. We'll talk about how small businesses are navigating social media shopping from the seller's perspective and what conscious consumerism looks like from the other side of the checkout screen. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend who's ever been tempted by a viral product. Until next time, remember, every click is a choice.